Welcome back to SwitchCorner. My name is Alex and today we're going to be taking a look at my favourite eShop deals covering the US, Canada, UK, EU and Australia. Now this video, it is any price goes, so do check out Thursday's edition if you're looking for those steals, as I keep that one sub $10 or of course your local currency. Then as always, not only do I have two winners to announce for two $10 eShop gift cards as we go through this video, but then I'll also have two more to give away. To enter for that, your chance to win in next week's video, same as always, simple enough, just drop a comment down below. Winners, they'll be announced in next Saturday's episode. So with that then, hit subscribe if you love the Switch as much as we all do here, join our growing family, and let's get started. So first of all, like Thursday's edition, it's real quiet over on the UK, EU and Australia side of things. Hopefully they are prepping for that next big sale, but there is only, as a warning, 4 deals in those regions in this video. To not waste anyone's time, I'm going to be front loading the video with them, and then if you don't want to, region hop for what are some of the best deals I've seen in a long time, you can drop off the video and I seriously appreciate you, just joining me to check them out up until that point. This though, it's gonna be a long video. There are some monster sales out there right now, so let's jump in. So first up, Manifold Garden. This is a fantastic first-person exploration puzzle adventure. It plays with the concept of infinitely repeating geometry and then physics. It's an Escher-esque world and it's a hell of an achievement, I will say that. It's just so unique and the clean, almost low detail visuals are absolutely stunning. It's not the longest of games, but it was one of my favourite puzzle games of 2020, and I think for fans of the genre out there, it is an absolute must buy. This 25% off too, it marks a new all-time low. Then RPG fans, Grandia HD Collection, it's rocking 50% off, and while I don't doubt the quality of the games packaged in here, at launch for me, honestly, it felt just a little bit too expensive. I didn't regret paying full price honestly, but I think you can feel real good at this price with the amount of content included. It's bringing together the first 2 entries and they're remastered in HD and they're classic JRPGs at this point. I would suggest watch a review on these first, so make sure they are for you. They're definitely on the more old school side of things. Race fans, Monster Energy Supercross 3 hits a new all-time low with 70% off. The 4th, it is due out in March, but I'm not sure we'll actually be seeing that entry on the Switch, or at least it's not on the website yet. That kind of sucks honestly, because they've got better with each and every entry. While it's not perfect, still some visual design weirdness and a reduced race field, this was by far the best entry yet, as it just basically improved across the board, especially in gameplay and physics. With a decent career mode though, online and offline play, and a track creator, this is some good bang for your buck, and I do have a full review on the channel if you want to check that out. The only UK, EU, AU exclusive then, and this is a pickup for me as well, Wallachia Reign of Dracula. I think I'm saying that right. Not played it myself, so can't recommend it just yet, but the reviews, they were a lot better than I honestly expected. Something about the visuals in the trailer just kind of looked off to me, but the reviews suggest it captures its Castlevania influences with some solid retro challenge. With a story then set around Vlad the Impaler as well, it's for sure trying to mix things up just enough, and it's a new all-time low with 33% off. So before we do move on to the US and Canada exclusives, and this is about to become a monster list, I just quickly want to shout out there's a ton of physical deals in the UK right now. I'd suggest you take a look at mainly Amazon UK and then Shop too. Some highlights I noticed though, a new all-time low price on Pikmin 3, it's 28% off at Amazon and Argos. Super Mario 3D All-Stars, that's 26% off at Amazon UK. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, that's 42% off again at Amazon. And then finally, my favourite, Bravely Default 2 has a pre-order discount of 20% at Shop 2, and I know a lot of people will be jumping on pre-orders for that one, so I just wanted to point it out. So that's it then for the UK, EU and AU side of things. If you don't want a region hop, then I do appreciate you watching, thank you, but if you don't mind picking up, a US gift card, there is some amazing deals this week, so let's get comfy. I've got maybe 25 games for you, so yeah. First up today, this is an absolute monster deal, but Doom, the 2016 release, it's coming in with a huge new all-time low offering of 60% off, and yeah, This was the title that made me a believer in panic buttons. Like port quality, they just absolutely delivered. Sure, the resolution at points can be a little, soft, and no question we're seeing a downgrade, but playing as the Doomslayer in the palm of your hands, that is badass, and this all-out fist-scroll first-person shooter is an absolute must-buy. It's an incredible price. I did not expect to see it drop this low, honestly, ever, because the physical is just becoming more and more difficult to come by. While it's maybe not the Darksiders people wanted, then I actually found a lot to like with Darksiders Genesis. They changed things up, moving from third person, almost think Sourdough-like, to a more linear Diablo dungeon crawling format. You can go solo though, or co-op online and off, and the action's really good stuff. I really enjoyed the story too. It introduces the final gun-wielding horseman. His name is Strife. I have a full review on the channel, but I really do like the 60% off as well. Dusk Diver next. It's got a new all-time low by maybe $1, but it's becoming what I feel is destined to kind of be a cult classic. I thought it was okay, but not amazing. This is basically some minor RPG elements with a whole lot of like third-person hack and slash dungeon exploration. My main issue, visually it looks stunning as you explore the town, but the dungeons felt like just one grey corridor after another. Cool story though, you're basically working together with gods to save your world. I hope we do get a sequel and they can kind of fine-tune what they started here, because it is for sure a great concept, and honestly here you shouldn't be too disappointed given now the budget price point after this 35% off. So before our first winner of the week, strategy fans, Warhammer 40,000 Mechanicus is probably one of my favourites on the Switch. At launch it had some issues with its day one patch, which for sure sadly hurt it, but you will find an extremely deep experience here. It's turn-based but on very small battlefields. Think maybe 4 or 5 soldiers at a time, and then it blends this together with the usual squad management, all that good stuff. The most unique mechanic here though, it's actually the dungeon crawling. It basically presents you with a map, so you're choosing which direction you go, then it will give you a scenario and you need to choose an option, almost D&D style. Choose right, expect perks. Choose wrong and, well yeah, bad things definitely happen. A new all-time low here with 40% off. It's another one I reviewed on the channel if you do want to know more. So our first winner of the week then, this $10 code, it's going to Hamster32, who shouted out Risk of Rain 2 for just being an absolute blast. It's not on sale anymore, but hopefully quite a few of you out there, jumped on it and was able to grab it. Hamster dropped me an email to claim your code, and then everyone else. A second winner's still coming up later in the video, but first, of course, let's just check out a few more games. So next then, Alien Isolation, and it's back with its all-time low of 43% off. Horror fans just buy it immediately. Taking place after the events of the first movie, Ripley is missing. You are her daughter, and when a black box is discovered, you set out to a space station to hopefully collect it and find out something about your mother's missing whereabouts. What awaits you on this spaceship though, not exactly human, we'll leave it there. This is probably the best port of the game. It looks absolutely stunning, they capture the universe perfectly, and it's absolutely tense as hell. A masterpiece of a game that really, in my opinion, needs a physical release as soon as possible. A more recent release then, Hyperbrawl Tournament, and it's coming in with 40% off. It's another one I reviewed here on the channel. I grew up on Speedball on my Mega Drive, and this is a perfect throwback to just that. 2 versus 2 battles, throw the ball into the opposition's net, but also, beat the crap out of them along the way with specials, or even manipulate the ball mid-flight for some true trick shots. A whole lot of fun, and then with online play and up to 4 players, there's a decent amount of longevity to this one if it is your style. I keep on going back, I keep on competing online. Another one then for you strategy fans, Othercide, but I'm giving this one an opening warning. It's brutally difficult. It's all in black and white, and it tells the story of what are known as the Army of Daughters. You're basically out to, defend this place, containing elements though then of permadeath and even a time-based system for its combat. There's a lot going on here and a whole lot of depth and things to learn. I think this is for the more hardened strategy fans out there, but you should absolutely watch a full review before you buy it. Just get a feel for it first. I did a mini quickfire review on it, but Glenn at SwitchUp did a more in-depth one, which I will link down below too for those that want to, know just absolutely everything. Zelda 2 fans, I know it's not the most popular entry, that's for sure, but Phoenotopia Awakening is about as good as Zelda clones get. On launch it was brutally challenging, but since then they've been patching away, and it's definitely made that learning curve just a little less sharp, shall we say. Here though, the adults disappear, and as almost the oldest teen, you need to now save everyone and just figure out what happened. Combining 2D action platforming dungeons with an overworld style map to explore, it's a true love letter to the greats of the genre, and it can absolutely honestly stand alongside them. The pixel work too, stunning, and it's well worth this 25% off. A quick shout out here then, not quite the lowest price ever, I think it's maybe $1 more, but Grindstone, it's been my latest addiction. Get a lot of questions around this one, so just know it's basically 20% off right now, and I'm a big fan. It's essentially symbol matching gameplay with some RPG elements in perks, equipment, so you can set up stuff like that. The visuals are stunning though, the animation another level, and then the high score chasing absolutely addictive. Alright, so I'm putting these 3 together. I've played 2, I'm about to start the 3rd, but Along the Edge, Seers Isle and Across the Grooves. Keep it quick, these are visual novels presented in stunning hand-drawn style. They're coming from a team, Novabox. I reviewed Across the Grooves, I adored it, telling an almost time travel tale. Then I checked out Seers Isle, think more Viking themed story, and finally I'm about to move on to Along the Edge. They won't be for everyone, but I was really impressed with the stories they tell, and the mostly still images. Yes, they don't do much in the way of animation, but they are just incredible. Nearly everyone I would happily screenshot and just hang on my wall. All 3 right now though, 30% off on each, and I do think they're absolutely worth taking a look. So while we're on games I haven't actually played, but maybe you'll want to join me for the ride, I'm grabbing 2 this week. First, Gibbous, a Cthulhu adventure. I think that's how you say it anyway, Gibbous. It's rocking 40% off, and this point and click adventure had me at point and click, honestly. It's just got great reviews though. The animation looks stunning, and then it's a Lovecraft inspired world, so consider me sold. Then I'm also grabbing a Carto, and in fact I actually already own this, I just haven't played it yet, so I'm going to be throwing it in here. This one, it's a puzzle adventure that again got great reviews though. You'll be playing as Carto. She gets separated from her granny during a storm, and now you must use cartography special powers to basically manipulate the world and reunite the two of them. I picked it up day of release, and it just kind of sat there in the backlog, so it's finally time for me to jump in and see what it's all about. It's a new all-time low here though, with 20% off. The only other sale we've ever seen, I grabbed it with 10% off back at launch. Story-driven gamers then, another one for you, Nightcall. I think part mystery, part visual novel with this one. The idea is simple enough. A serial killer is loose on the streets of Paris. He actually got you, but you managed somehow to survive. You are, in fact, the only one ever to survive. Now you're returning to work as a taxi driver, and you must get to the bottom of who the killer is, as essentially accusations are starting to come your way that you could maybe not be so nice. Beautiful noir style though, and more depth with the gameplay than most in the genre. I think choosing passengers, directing conversations nearly constantly, and even piecing together evidence. I was impressed personally, and I loved it handheld on the go. This 40% off then, it matches the best price we've ever seen. So before our second winner of the week then, these were highlights for the UK, EU and AU just last week, and now it's our turn, but Metro, 2033 Redux and Last Light Redux, both on sale with new all-time low prices, and this is an absolute steal, 55% off, and they are incredible first-person shooter experiences that have just more story than most, but also a decent chunk of stealth gameplay. Set in a world where mutants have essentially taken over, it's all post-apocalyptic, humans have been relegated to living in the subway system of Moscow. Something big is coming though, and now you must get out there and essentially warn the people and make sure everybody's almost safe. I'd suggest both, but if I had to summarize them, the first is more claustrophobic with smaller areas, while Last Light, it plays more with the idea of small sandbox areas. These are another great example though of incredible ports, and they're probably some of the strongest on the Nintendo Switch. So our second winner of the week then, before the final 3 huge first time sales, this code, it's going to Brian Ware, who also pointed out Risk of Rain 2. It was a real popular one last week in the comments. It seems, hopefully, like I said, a lot of you were jumping on it. Congrats though, Brian. Send me an email to claim that code. And everyone else, thanks as always for commenting. It means a lot to me, so drop one down below this week to be in with a chance of winning in next Saturday's episode. So our final 3 games then, and these are the big ones this week, all 3 their first ever digital sales, and they've all been out for a pretty decent while now. So first, a quick one, Clubhouse Games 51 Worldwide Games. It has 30% off. I picked it up physically at launch. I had a lot more fun with it than I expected. There's a nice chunk of variety with the games, but also these are just great fun with family members or friends that maybe don't typically game. The presentation solid throughout, nice and clean, and there's a good chunk of options in regards to, you know, different types of play styles. It's gonna keep you locked in. It is skill-based games though, so that's really gotta be your thing to get any sort of value out of this one. Then our penultimate game of the week, CrossCode. It's an action RPG inspired by games of the SNES era. This world looks stunning first of all, it was eagerly awaited, and for me it did deliver from what I would say were high expectations on my part, but think a huge selection of enemies, creative boss fights, puzzles where you'll actually leverage your weapons like the throwing one you'll be seeing here in the gameplay trailer. Throw in then an out there sci-fi story, 30 to 80 hours of gameplay, kind of dependent on, you know, how deep you want to go with side quests and stuff, and then over 60 tracks on its soundtrack. It's an absolute winner. I got it for a review and then I still picked up the limited physical release as well. 30% off though, it's a great first time sale. So our final game of the week then, Good Job is here with 30% off. It was an Indie Direct stealth drop, or at least I think it was an Indie Direct, but it seems it kind of went honestly overlooked. I never hear too many people talk about it. Published by Nintendo though, you can play up to 2 players locally, and the idea is simple enough. You're trying to climb the corporate ladder by solving puzzles, but these puzzles just get kind of crazier and crazier. It's not necessarily really about doing a good job, but just kind of getting the job done, because most of the time I was destroying nearly everything in sight. It is a lot of fun though, and super funny at points, and it delivered a lot more than I honestly expected. I thought it would be, you know, pick it up for 5 minutes and drop it again, but it actually locked me in. I love the unique art style then as well. It kind of reminds me of an isometric human fall flat, but without the pain in the ass physics. And that's it, another week down, and one of the best I've seen in a long time. There's so many games, honestly, I didn't get to talk about. So think like Fight Terrarium, Banner of the Maid, The Last Campfire, Moe Astray, a personal favourite of mine, Ori and the Will of the Wisp, Blind Forest, another definite favourite of mine, but all great deals, all great prices, but we've actually seen them pretty recently before, so I decided to skip them this week. Will you be adding anything to your collection though, or will you be skipping and saving some of that cash? I think it's going to be a hard week, honestly, to say no to some of these deals. With that though, like, a shout out to the patrons of the channel who are just going above and beyond to support SwitchCorner. Helps more than you know, so thank you all so much. Then hit subscribe if you love the Switch as much as we all do here. Join our growing family, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.